Good evening. Good evening. How's everybody doing today? Happy Tuesday. Coach Mo here, Queen Quiet Storm, on deck for the chaos tip of the day. And I thought I'd share something personal with you guys today. But first, I always have to introduce myself and tell you what it is I do. So again, I'm Bernice Oliver. My clients know me as Coach Mo, Queen Quiet Storm, bringing calm to their business chaos. I help insurance agency owners, sales producers, and women entrepreneurs to create revenue opportunities out of the chaos of their business. I primarily help my clients create a strategic plan to, build their best life first and then create their best life now. I help my clients with productivity and efficiency training. We do strategic planning, business development, staff training, and organizational development. So, for those of you that don't know, I am a mom of a high school athlete. Now he's a college athlete. And all through his school years, I think probably starting with about third grade, he's been an athlete. And so he's played football, basketball, and he ran track. Now, let me just tell you, I liked football. I liked track. And of course, I was there to support my son and all the other kids who had suddenly become my kids because they were on the team. But y'all, I absolutely love basketball. That was my game. That was my sport. I was the basketball team mom. I loved basketball. I just loved the rush of the fast break and the full court press. And, I loved the gym when it was rumbling and roaring with excitement from the crowd because it was down to the wire and, it was a nail biter. And I loved the adrenaline and the intoxication of just watching the game to the final buzzer. Y'all, it was just the best for me. So love basketball. Love basketball. But what I really love the most about my son playing on the basketball team was it was a team effort. Being an athlete on a high school team and now on a college team, he says it to me often. My son's an only child. We only have one son. And he always says, I was able to have brothers that didn't live with me. And we all worked for a common goal, and that was to win the game. We wanted to win. So, I kind of thought about that. We were, the whole team always pulled for that W. You know what I mean? For the win. We were always trying to get that win. And so, as I was thinking about that and how I work with insurance agencies and I help them, build a strategic team and help them with their organizational development, I thought about how basketball, sales, and a championship team helps an agent create a purpose-driven insurance agency. So I want to kind of just share some thoughts around basketball and how I believe just the analogy of how basketball works can help you build your own championship team and help you create your own purpose-driven insurance agency. So first of all, my son, he played point guard. So that was his job. He would bring the ball down the court. And I love to hear him yell, my ball, my ball. He would always say, my ball, I got it. And that meant to his team, he was ready to do his part, that he was going to bring the ball down court and he was going to make a move to try to put the ball in the hoop to get the points. So let me ask you, who is the point guard in your office? Is it you being the agent? Is it one of your sales producers? Is it maybe your CSRs? Is it your retention specialist? Who's the person that's willing to drive the ball down the court? Now, let me say this. I think it needs to be everybody. Everybody needs to be willing and have the confidence to jump in and to ensure that the processes are being followed through every day in the agency, and be sure that everyone understands how the processes need to work so that they can yell my ball at any time, and we can trust, or you can trust, that team member to bring the ball down the court. So think about who is the point guard in your agency. So number 2, full court press. Love this part. Loved it, loved it, loved it. For those of you that are not familiar with basketball and how basketball works, I'm sure you are, but I'm going to tell you what the actual definition of full court press is. That is when, the opposition or the opposing team aggressively defends the team that's bringing the ball down the court one-on-one for the entire length of the court. So they're playing man-to-man, head-to-head, toe-to-toe down the court. Okay, not the normal waiting for the point guard to bring the ball down the court and they reach center court and they cross over, then they press. No, it's full court press. Typically, they do that when they're trying to either, defend, keep the other team from scoring because it's down, the point strategy is really tight, or maybe they're trying to steal the ball and get it back. So that's the full court press. And so in your agency, that phrase means that, in my mind, that would mean that everybody needs to give an all-out effort to accomplish whatever the office goal or the team goal is within the agency. But you got to make sure that everybody is on board with the goal. So a couple of questions and things I want you to think about is, number 1, does everyone understand the process in order to achieve the goals? Have you discussed it with them? Are the goals visible and posted where your team and yourself can see the goals on a daily basis? Secondly, have you made it very clear to your team what the goals are? If you haven't done that, how do you expect them to do a full court press? How are they going to steal the ball from your competitor and put the ball in the hoop, meaning making that sale, if you haven't discussed what the strategies are? I remember often that my son's coach would always have his clipboard, and he called a timeout and he'd go over and he'd draw the little diagram on his clipboard. It's a visual representation of what the court is, and he's telling everybody what they need to do. So as the agency owner, have you shared the playbook with your team? And do they know exactly what your expectations are? All right, so think about that as you are creating your own full court press for your agency. All right, so number 3, is it a slam dunk? Now, the term slam dunk, now my son didn't slam dunk. He's not a tall basketball player, so he wasn't dunking, but we did have some players on the team that would often try and slam dunk, and they would slam dunk. So for those of you that don't know what slam dunking is, that's kind of the show-stopping thing where the player run down the court and they jam the ball in the hoop and everybody goes, oh, you know what that means? Okay, that's your slam dunk. So one of my favorite players is Dominique Wilkins. And I love that he was able to finesse the slam dunk. You never knew what he was going to do and how he was going to put it in, but you knew that he was going to slam dunk. And he made the game exciting because everybody came to see him and see him slam dunk. So let me ask you about your agency and your team. Is someone saying something is a slam dunk in the agency, meaning it's a sure thing? Are there sales goals that are slam dunks in the agency? Or maybe your slam dunk means that, you or your team are doing an amazing job. So is your team providing that world-class service? Are you catching your team providing that world-class service to your and are you rewarding them? So think about how you can create opportunities. So let me say that back to Dominique Wilkins. He had to have some opportunities in order to do the slam dunk, meaning his team had to get themselves in place and open up the opportunity for him to be able to do the slam dunk. So let me ask you that about your agency. Have you positioned your agency and your team in a strategic way so that everyone has an opportunity for a slam dunk? Think about it. All right, number 4, rebounding. Now, rebounding was huge on our team because we didn't do a great job of it. And my husband would scream across the court, follow the shot, follow your shot. I would hear him scream that through every. So right, you have to follow your shot. That's a huge lesson in basketball. And so I think the same holds true for your agency. Do you follow up on every quote, every referral, every proposal? And do you continue your rebounding efforts until you either score, meaning you make the sale, or the ball is taken away from you, meaning the client either tells you they don't want to buy, or they die, or they ask you not to call back anymore. And so we would have a saying in my agency, and I kind of laugh about it right now because that's what we would say. A prospect is always a prospect until they die or they tell me not to call anymore. Otherwise, they will continually be on my list to call and follow up. So who is following up, and what is your follow-up process so that you can get the rebound? All right. And my last one is learning from the loss. After every game, particularly games that we lost, my husband and my son would play the game over and over and over again for maybe hours after the game was over. Every shot, every mistake, every gain, everything that went on the court, they talked about it. And so, and I think it was really helping my son be able to learn from the loss. What did you learn from the loss? And so, you know, championship teams, unfortunately, sometimes they face defeat. They just do. And so what is what they use from as a learning lesson or a teaching moment. So think about how can we get where now, who was in position, who was out of position. Those are all the things that you can think about that you can use to learn from your loss so that you can come back the next day and create a win. Remember, we're always trying to get that W, create that win for your team. So these are just some questions that I can really encourage you to think about in terms of my analogy from basketball, sales, and building that championship team. So here's my advice. Stay prepared. A championship team always stays prepared. Number 2, look for the open shot and take it. The open shot is there every day. You just have to look for it and take the shot. You know, Michael Jordan, people consider him the greatest of all time in basketball. And he said, talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. Do you want to win a championship in your agency? You can win. You just have to have the right processes and the right strategies in place. So thank you for joining me for my chaos tip of the day. I really hope that this helps you and your agency move towards that championship moment. So if you like what you heard in this video, please click the like button below and let me know, or leave me a comment in the box below. Or if you know an agent or a producer or an entrepreneur that should be competing like a champion and maybe they're not quite there, feel free to share this video with them, you know. And if you need help or you know someone else that needs help, feel free to reach out to me. Send me an email at mernice@merniceoliver.com. As always, you can find me right here on Facebook at Coach Mernice Oliver. You can reach out to me through my website at www.merniceoliver.com or send me a message on LinkedIn at Mernice Oliver. So until tomorrow, I'm Coach Mo, Queen Quiet Storm, here to help you create calm in all of your business chaos. I'll see you later. Go be a champion.